Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. Trouble with quarterback 2. Plus, I make my pre-training camp division picks. And later, if Myles Garrett was a candy, what would he be? And other Fan Quesos. Let's rock.
We here, man. We gotta take advantage of victory on one horse. Let's go.
This is Rams Showcase. And now your host, Sheriff Joe Baggs.
Yes, welcome to Rams Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Baggs. At Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Baggs. That's where you follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com. If you are hearing me, well, good news. There's a way to watch the show as well. Just check out the Rams Showcase YouTube channel or Facebook page. If you are watching me, maybe you're like, you know what, man, I'm driving. I don't even need all this theatrics. Good news. Everywhere you find podcasts, you can find an episode of Rams Showcase, and check me out right there. Lots to get into tonight, as of course we are going to be talking about QB2 and some recent developments that have happened in this positioning, which actually is more just fan reaction than actual issues. So that's good news, but we'll get into that here shortly. I'm also going to be making my division picks. I've got a division winner for every single division in the NFL. We'll get into that. Training camp update, top 100. We got a bunch of stuff going on right now, and it's all good because, football's right around the corner. We are in the mid-70s range as far as getting into week 1 action. Australia, Rams, Niners, going to be fired up for it, of course. But first, we can talk about this quarterback situation, all right? So, rookie quarterback Ty Simpson's being reported that yet to stand out over quarterback Stetson Bennett. This is a report that initially came from Nate Atkins, and actually not ill-intended in any capacity from Nate. If you actually listen to what was said, what was kind of stated, makes perfect sense. He's a rookie quarterback. He was drafted about 2 months ago. We just had OTAs, no big deal, not training camp yet. So I wouldn't anticipate that he's looking like a phenomenal guy already or anything like that. It'd be kind of cool if he was, but it's totally realistic that he's not. So Ty Simpson, he started 14 games in college and has had about half of an OTA. Because I think we also forget that we canceled the rest of our OTAs. So we didn't even get all the way through it before we canned that, and now we're just looking to head towards training camp. On the other side of that, Stetson Bennett, he started 42 games in college, 2-time national champion, and is entering the 4th year in the same NFL system that he came into the NFL with. He's obviously on the older side, 28 years old for Stetson Bennett. So been in the league for a few years. Started in 4 different seasons in college. He didn't start every game in those early seasons, but 2-time national champion as a member of the Georgia Bulldogs. And Ty Simpson coming in off of 14 career college starts, half of an OTA, and he's already supposed to be standing out clearly above Stetson Bennett. Don't understand the thought process here. This instant gratification world, we don't... doesn't always leak into the quarterback room. And the good news is we don't need Ty Simpson or Stetson Bennett to be the top tier guys right now. That's okay that they're not ready to take a football field. In fact, I would argue most people aren't, all right? Being in football shape is not just about being physically talented, being physically super strong. You got to take some hits. You got to get in there. You got to get that live action. Otherwise, probably not in the best position. And that's what we talk about with Aaron Donald as well. If he were to return, you got to take some hits in there, man. You got to be in live reps before you're fully back. He'd probably have a situation where there's a little bit of getting back into the groove early season. But when we're talking about the quarterbacks, man, I think Ty Simpson being clearly ahead of Bennett after just a handful of practices, worrying fans, is just not the proper response. The report, again, was not intended to be like, yo, we got a problem here, man. None of these quarterbacks are looking good. We had like 4 practices and no one's standing out. Because that kind of feels like the reaction that we're getting from the fan base. But either way, man, I mean, so you got a situation where we've got 2 months ago, dude got drafted, has not seen joint practices, which we've got a few of this year, has not seen a preseason game, has not seen the sideline of an NFL game, watching Matthew Stafford get stuff done. But we're expected to respond to this with, I guess we're not expected to respond to it, but we are responding to this in a way where it's like, oh man, Stetson Bennett's just not getting it done, man, not getting it done. He's not standing out yet. Well, can we give him a chance to learn and grow and get acclimated into the NFL and learn his teammates and learn the offense? We can't get there first. We just have to see it day one. right away. Day one, we got to know that he's absolutely incredible. You remember the reports from Patrick Mahomes' first training camp? Could not stop throwing interceptions. Looked terrible, honestly. That was all the reports. It's like, he can't stop turning the ball over, man. He's a turnover machine. This is crazy. I was one of them who started buying into it. And it's like, man, maybe he's not that good. And I started telling people that. It's like, oh, no, maybe he's not that good. And then he goes off. And then it's like, oh, turns out those reports were just bogus. And he was in practice, doing practice things, which is trying things. Try to fit that ball into that window, man. It doesn't hit your PFF stats when you're hitting this stuff in practice. It's okay to practice things where you're like, I don't know if I can do this or not. Let me try it a few times. Oh, it got picked off a couple times. All right, let me try to get better at it. We can't give Ty Simpson a chance to practice and learn and figure out the NFL first before we're like, turns out he sucks. Nate Atkins said that he hasn't stood out above Stetson Bennett, so turns out he's a huge bomber. And I guess that my other reaction to this is like, one reaction is like, why are we overreacting to Ty Simpson being not incredible right now, or not at least standing out to be a QB2 right now? He's a rookie, dude. I don't care if you were picked in the first round. You're a rookie. I don't care about all that, because we also got situations where Mr. Irrelevant up the coast is out here doing great. First round pick. Maybe needs to learn a little bit. Maybe he's going to be awesome too. Maybe he's the best quarterback on our team right now. I'm going to venture to say probably not, but certainly possible, right? And I think that ultimately I would take this situation as, if we're going to react to the Ty Simpson aspect of this, I think that ultimately we should be reacting stronger to the Stetson Bennett side of this story, which is the fact that neither of them are standing out. Neither of them are standing out as a clear-cut QB2. Stetson Bennett's a guy who's been around for a little bit, has 42 college starts and 2 national championships, and is entering year 4 in his NFL system. If there's anything to glean from this report, which I don't think there is in June, if there's anything to pull from this, though, it's actually the fact that Stetson Bennett should be much further along. But again, we're in June. We have not even reached training camp yet. So to form 100% of our opinions based on half of an OTA, I think is jumping the gun a little bit, all right? I'm here to pull you back in, dude. I'm here to pull you back in, wrangle you a little bit, because I know we get overreactive on stuff like this. It's like we have this awesome squad right now. Some news comes out about our left tackle, and everybody's like, man, I was so fired up for this year too. And it's like, what are you talking about? We're not Super Bowl contenders now because one player went out? You kidding me? And then we're going to be talking in June saying, hey, neither of these quarterbacks has really stood out as like the clear cut. Obviously, this guy's your QB2. And we're sitting here like, turns out, bust. We made the wrong pick. We can't let them play football first before we start judging things, man. And also, this squad is phenomenal. I think we're going to be okay, man. But we just can't create 100% of our opinion on a player in June before training camp has even happened. They're on vacation right now. And also, we're getting a bunch of stories about how Ty Simpson is taking steps in doing things to learn the offense. He records himself calling out plays. He goes to sleep and wakes up to that, man. But we're going to sit here and say, he didn't absolutely light it up in OTAs in shorts. So turns out maybe he's not that good. We're jumping the gun here. Let's move on here to some divisional picks here. This is something I do every year. I always actually put money on this. Low stakes. I don't go crazy on it. Just a couple of bucks per division. I always pick a winner, and we'll see it from there. And this actually happens. I pick my division winners in that little gap that we get between preseason and the start of week 1. Usually that Sunday, which is my fantasy draft day. Me and the homies all go hang out. Then I come through and I'll pick my MVP. I'll pick all my division winners. I'll pick some other awards and stuff like that. Last year, absolutely nailed the Matthew Stafford for MVP. Don't want to brag too much, but turned $2 into like 80 something bucks, which was pretty sick considering I'm low stakes guy. Like I said, I'm doing $2. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. Got lunch for a couple of days out of Matthew Stafford slanging that thing, which I'll take any time. I also went through division winners. I think I got, I'd have to look, man. I hate that, but I think I got 5 or 6 correct. One of them was the NFC South. No, I got that one right. That was for sure right. But there was a few tighter division races. I want to say it was AFC maybe. So we'll get into this here. Let's go ahead and start on the AFC side. We'll end it up with the NFC West. I gotta create some chaos here, right? I want to keep you waiting. It's what we in the biz call a bit of a tease. All right, so hang with me if you want to see who I think is going to win the NFC West. That next. Anyway, AFC North. Of course, you know what? I'm not gonna go super theatrical here, man. I'm just gonna give you my picks. All right, we're gonna start with the AFC here. AFC North. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to win this division. I like the Ravens this year. I think that they got one heck of a squad up there. The rest of the division's not total killers, I would say. But I think that the Baltimore Ravens, absolutely one of the better teams in that division. And you know what? I'm also going to give you second place for all these as well. So feel free to clip me, dude. Do it. You're scared. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go number 2 there. So Ravens 1, Bengals 2 in the AFC North. Moving over to the AFC East, I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills. I know this is not necessarily the most popular pick, especially considering that an AFC East team was just in the Super Bowl. But there's something, and fair, they also did just add A.J. Brown. So Drake May definitely has some firepower out there. There's just something about the Bills where, and maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, where everybody kind of says, like, they're right there. They're right around the corner. They're going to be there. I just feel like this is a little bit more of that year for Josh Allen. I think that Allen's the one that's going to kind of settle in a little bit more this year. I think he's now been in the league long enough to really start coming into his own. He's obviously been extremely talented his entire time, coming from Wyoming, just up the road from me here. But I think that this is the year where he kind of starts to see it even slower. You know what I mean? It's like we got Matthew Stafford, 37 years old, coming off an MVP season, going to be 38 this year. But it takes some time because you can have all the physical traits, but the game is fast, the game is crazy, and you got a bunch of geniuses on the other side trying to trick you and trying to fool you into making mistakes. So to be able to counter that, it does take time in the NFL. It does take time to slow it down and then be able to counter things as you see them live, which is what we're able to see Matthew Stafford do now in his time now being experienced in the NFL. And there's just something about Josh Allen that I think that hits this year. I'm going to give the Patriots number 2. I think that's going to be one hell of a fight. Like I said, bringing in A.J. Brown for Drake May, definitely some firepower there. I really like their corners as well. So you get some good wide receiver battles there when you're dealing with the New England Patriots. AFC South, I'm still drinking that Jaguars Kool-Aid as well, man. Give me the Jacksonville Jags. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm one of the more high people on Trevor Lawrence. I think he's an incredible quarterback. But you know what? There's another team in this division that I think is going to be making quite a splash this year. Give me the Tennessee Titans at number 2. I think that when you got Liam Cohen, what he's doing out there in Jacksonville, I do think that that's the best team in the division. I think kind of by a margin, but I do think that the Tennessee Titans are one of those teams where this year we're going to be like, oh man, are they actually super sick? And it's like, yeah, dude, this has been coming, man. They've been turning that corner for a little while now. They got some really talented players out there. So give me Tennessee at number 2, Jacksonville 1. To wrap up the AFC, we'll go with the West, where, you know what? Probably going to disagree with me on this one here a little bit, but I'm going to go with the Chargers, our roommates at SoFi Stadium. I do think that they have one hell of a squad right now, especially if they do officially bring back Keenan Allen, which I do think that they will. I think that that's a really damn good team. And another situation similar to Josh Allen where I understand the whole storyline about Herbert, and he hasn't been able to really settle it in and become that guy. He's got all the talent in the world, but mentally maybe it's just something that's there where he's just not enough to really pull that team to the next level. But again, with Harbaugh, who I think is phenomenal, him and Herbert teaming up, I think is going to be a thing. So I think that this is the year that the Chargers kind of pull up. But some really good teams in this division as well. I'm not giving Denver number 2. I do think that they take a little bit of a step back this year. Give me the Chiefs to have a bit of a bounce back year and slip it to 2. I will give Denver 3, though. Raiders, I do think, end in last place, but not because they have the worst football team. Obviously, you have you got Kirko Chains out there mentoring Mendoza, which is solid. But then you also got Ashton running the rock. Brock Bowers, who the Rams clearly were absolutely in love with. He would have fit in so perfectly into our little tight end room. But I think that they're closer than people think, but that division is just too loaded, man. And when you look at the landscape of the rest of the AFC, I think the Titans are going to be one of the most improved teams. Jags are good, Bills are good, Pats are good, Ravens are good, Steelers are solid. Like, there's some really good football teams in the AFC, so I just don't think that the Raiders will have enough to really make that big splash. But that is your division winners in the AFC. Give me the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Flipping over to the NFC, in the NFC North, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears, man. I think that Caleb Williams, I have absolutely turned a bit of a corner on my opinions on Caleb Williams. And I do think he's the best quarterback in that division. I think the Vikings, you can say, absolutely got much better at that spot because I do think that there is something to be said about Kyler Murray's experience and his athleticism, obviously. I do think that's going to be a good spot for him. I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray guy. I don't think that he is necessarily like this phenomenal, top 10 quarterback or anything like that. But he's blatantly better than what the Vikings were dealing with last year. So it's going to be a massive improvement there. You got Jared Goff, who I think is obviously very fine. I don't think he's up in the upper echelon. I would put him kind of like a tier 2 to 3 fringe guy, actually. Put him in like the 12 to 13, 14 kind of range as far as overall. And I know that might feel low to some people. I just don't get it, man. There's something about Jared Goff where I don't know if he's really elevating. I think that he's kind of dependent on the roster and coaching staff around him, whereas some guys are not as reliant on those situations. So, and then Jordan Love, I think, is just the most average quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's phenomenal. I also don't think he sucks. I think that I was talking to my buddy about this, my Packers fan buddy, Jackson, because he saw my tweet where I was talking about this, and he kind of started like giving me some rebuttals, and he's like, what metrics do you consider and stuff like that? And it's like, I don't know, man. It's more of an eyeball test, honestly, man. I'm just making opinions out here, NBD, so... but I do think that Jordan Love is the most average quarterback because, you got Caleb Williams up in the ESPYs for having the one of the best, throws of one of the best plays of the year against the Rams to tie the game there, that late touchdown throw. But then you got some throws like that where you're like, whew, man, this kid's making some plays. Name one time Jordan Love's done that where he's made a play where you're like, oh my God, dude, this kid's incredible. Hasn't happened, man. He's a fine quarterback. He's a good dude, but I just see nothing special there. I also don't see anything terrible there, man. He's serviceable. You put a good team around him. You win some football games. I do think he's capable of winning a Super Bowl if you have a squad around him. I just don't think you're going to look back and be like, damn, dude, without Jordan Love, we don't do that. You know what I mean? I just don't think that that's ever going to be the case. So give me the Chicago Bears winning this division. Give me the Minnesota Vikings number 2. Something about Detroit I'm not in love with this year. And the Green Bay Packers, I do think, are going to slip into that 4 slot. Could be wrong. Maybe. NFC East. Here we got some really good, really talented teams right now. The Dallas Cowboys offense absolutely went off last year. That was one of those teams that I thought was going to be pretty rough. But I think the Pickens addition there definitely made some major splashes, obviously. But in this division here, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles winning it. And I do think, though, and this may change. Again, this is my preseason picks, and I will be making new picks after we see training camp and all that stuff. I do think there's something to be said, though, about the Philadelphia Eagles losing A.J. Brown, who I think that was the reason that you could utilize Saquon in the way that you did, because people also had a threat in the pass game. Now I'm not sure who you got. I know that Devonta Smith is very talented. They've got some good players, but A.J. Brown's a difference maker, and now you don't have that in the passing game. And I think that Jalen Hurts is going to take a huge hit as far as his passing statistics and passing situations go this season. And Saquon, I think that you can kind of rely on the fact that they're going to be running the football a lot more. So this may change. This is probably the one I'm least confident in, I'll be completely honest. But number 2, give me the New York Giants. I think that they have been building up a really solid squad there. I'm interested to see the Harbaugh year 1 with, Scattaboo and Dart and Malik Neighbors, but they have some really good players up there. They're going to accidentally win way more games than they should probably this year, and that's just because of pure talent on the roster and a coach who knows what he's doing in certain situations. It's going to be a situational thing that is going to be the improvement on Harbaugh, where instead of on this 4th and 1 where last year they would have done this, he's going to pull this, and it's going to be, something that leads to a W there. So give me the New York Giants coming in second. I might, by the time that this is all said and done, I might slip them into to that number 1 where I think that they're going to win that division, but I'm just not confident enough yet to say that. I do want to see training camp and preseason before I'm more confident to slip them up. And Dallas, I think, will be absolutely right in that pocket as well. Washington, we'll kind of see. I just feel like they lost a lot of veteran leadership this year. Obviously, they're coming off of an NFC Championship loss, and then last year just wasn't nearly as good. And then you lose, Debo, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, stuff like that. Those are not obviously on field, stat wise, they may not be absolutely lighting it up, but when those guys are in your locker room, you're a better football team for it. So I do think that's going to take a hit there. I'm not sure how much I'm trusting them this year, although I really am a huge Jaden Daniels fan. In the NFC South, give me the Carolina Panthers to repeat in this division. I do think that they are just the best team simply in that division. I would say they have the best quarterback. I know that we're all big Baker fans in this house, but Baker will live on forever as a Rams legend, of course. But for two things mainly, was that sick 98-yard drive against the Raiders and then just beating the butt cheeks off of the Denver Broncos on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, Baker Mayfield, every single year. Shout out. But I think that Bryce Young is the best quarterback in that division. I think that they have a great squad out there. A lot of former Rams, of course. But I do think that they got one hell of a squad. Give me Atlanta Falcons in number 2. I think that Stefanski coming over is not necessarily an up or downgrade from Raheem Morris. I think that they're fairly comparable. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing Mike Evans, obviously they still have really good players. Baker Mayfield, we'll see, because he's one of those guys that all of a sudden, coming off of what kind of felt like a down year, he could come in so hot this year and just be absolutely phenomenal. The Saints, I do think, are going to be down in the league again this year, but I do think that they're, at least trajectory-wise, they're at least pointed in the right direction from this last year, and Shuck nearly isn't nearly as bad as some people thought that he might be. So, so we got that. NFC West. It's the Rams. I mean, obviously, I know I tried to tease you there. Rams are going to win this division. I feel pretty confident in that. And a few reasons, because I know that this is one of those things where people are going to be like, see, he's too confident in the Rams. He's only a Rams fan. Seattle for sure got worse, man. I don't care what anybody wants to say to me, man. Kenneth Walker was a huge part of that offense. They absolutely got worse. You can't tell me I'm wrong, man. You can't tell me any situation where you can look at their roster and say, yeah, they got better this year. I mean, certainly you can take experience, add a full season of experience onto that. I saw somebody say today on some kind of TV thing that they're like, this is the most disrespected Super Bowl winner of my lifetime. And it's like, yeah, but also fair. I don't, and maybe that makes me a jerk. Maybe that makes me a rival fan or something like that. But it's also yeah, no one really cares actually about that. It is kind of weird. And maybe that would have been the same case for the Rams if the Rams would have won that game and went on to win it all. But I know that I look at that team and I say there's not. I don't think that they got better. I think that they got worse, and I think that we did get better. San Francisco 49ers are, I think, going to be a solid team. They're probably a 9-10 win team. But I don't know. They seem a little bit more messy, but they also did last year, for sure. They were one of those teams that were getting beat up with injuries, but they were able to keep playing well, and I think that's because of CMC. Christian McCaffrey is absolutely up there as one of the best players in the NFL. So it's just one of those situations where if he does get hurt, then that team falls apart. But as long as he's okay, then you get Brock to do those little dump offs and pad his stats and stuff like that, which cool news for them. But it's just one of those where they did get a lot of injuries last year, and you got to think that that's probably not going to happen this year. But that was also an anomaly that Christian McCaffrey was healthy. So probably other guys are healthy. And then, and it's certainly possible that Christian McCaffrey isn't. And I think that he is way more important to that team than I think Niners fans even realize. I would have to maybe, we'll have a conversation here, I'm sure, over the offseason with CG. And we'll have a conversation with him and kind of see his perspective on my opinions there on Christian McCaffrey just being the 49ers right now. If he goes down, I think that machine kind of fumbles. And then with the Arizona Cardinals, I do think that they're at least pointed also in the right direction. Their quarterback situation's a disaster. They really got to figure that out. It's going to be one of those years where you just kind of eat it at quarterback. I know that they have Jacoby Brissett, but it's going to be one of those two. Oh man, who else did they sign? I'm trying to remember. I'm blanking on it right now. I do think it's a situation where he doesn't start every game, and it's going to be like later in the year where we see some other guys get some reps and stuff, and not because of injury. I do think that's going to happen. So I do think the Arizona Cardinals get last, but give me the Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals in the NFC West. So that wraps up your NFC picks. I'm going Chicago Bears, Philadelphia Eagles, Carolina Panthers, and Los Angeles Rams as your division winners. And if we want to go here and because I did also give you second places in this as well, I'll go ahead and say that I think that the Buffalo Bills are the number 1 seed out of the AFC. Then I'm going to go as far as wild card teams, because after 2, 3, 4 don't really matter, After that, give me the wild card teams of the New England Patriots. Give me the Chiefs and give me the Titans. I'll go with those for my my wild card teams. In the NFC, I will give the Rams number 1 seed. I think that, if we're looking on paper, games aren't played on paper, but we're in June, so that's the only way we can play them right now. The Rams do have the best squad in the NFC, so give me them as the 1 seed. 2, 3, and 4 don't matter. Give me the Seahawks. Give me the Giants. And I'll take the Niners in the NFC too for wild card teams. So Seahawks, Niners, Giants in the NFC, Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots for your wild card teams in the AFC. Cool stuff. We're not going to take a break here. We're just going to keep on rolling. NFL Top 100. We are getting this list coming out here. Let me see if I can get an update here, because NFL Top 100, they're doing it a little bit different this year, which is to say that they're giving us 2 a day instead of like 10 a week. So they give us 2 a day to kind of digest that. Cameron Jordan coming in at 100, Quentin Nelson at 99, Bryce Young at 98, Ernest Jones at 97, Travis Etienne at 96. We got Mario Davis at 95. Creed Humphrey, 94. Carson Swessinger at 93. And Aziz Al-Shair at 92. Montez Sweat at 91. That's where we're at right now. So we're still waiting, obviously, to see some Rams on this list. But like I said, instead of doing the 10 a week, they are just doing the drops 2 per day until Friday, August 21st. The top 10 will be unveiled over the following 2 weeks, which is going to be 1 per day once we reach that level, with number 1 being revealed on September 4th, which I get it. We're doing the NFL Top 100 list, and this thing's kind of been a bummer for the last few years as far as its release. Media and releases is in a weird spot right now with the internet. It's just so available that it's hard to create an impactful release on something. You also get a lot of leak issues, and then also the fact that just attention's hard to find, man. We're trying to talk NFL Top 100, and we're in June, where a lot of people maybe don't care. I think we should just get the whole list at once, or at least get, chunk it out, dude. Give me 25, 25, 25, and then break it down a little bit more as we get into those ranges. But that's just me. But September 4th is real late to be like, oh, he's number 1. Okay, cool. And then we're just playing ball. So it's like, dude, just give us a little earlier, man. I think we need to quicken this just a touch. But like I said here, Rams we can expect on the list for sure, Puka Nacua. For sure, Matthew Stafford. For sure, Myles Garrett, even though that wasn't a Rams season. For sure, Trent McDuffie, also not a Rams season. Give me these as possibles, and I don't think that I'm being absurd here by saying that they're potentially not on this list, which is going to be possible. Kevin Dotson, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and then Jared Verse, who obviously it would have been a Rams year. I'm going to say that the reason that I'm putting all these names on here, because we look at these names and we're like, yeah, those are absolutely top 100 guys, for sure. But let's keep in mind that there's like 1,700 NFL players, and being in the top 100 at all means you are the best of the best. So I saw a bunch of arguments about people saying, like, name this many people better than Ernest Jones. And it's like, okay, I mean, you can for sure name players in the NFL better than Ernest Jones right now, but also he's in the top 100, which means he is in the elite. This is the top 100 list. Like, these are the best players in the NFL. The names that I just read off to you, these are killers in the NFL. But we're going to be arguing over, he's 96, he should have been 92. It's like, that doesn't even matter, dude. That's a minuscule difference in rankings, man. And also, these are voted on by the players, which I know I'm one of those people who says, not up for debate. Not up for debate. This is the list that's not up for debate. I'll argue with you about PFF. You can argue with me about EPA and all this stuff all day. But this is voted on by the players. The guys who are, facing these guys and being in practice with these guys and being teammates with them, go to war with these dudes. So I think maybe their opinion's a little bit more relevant than ours. Just a thought. All right. But again, I just think that we're in a situation where we're picking out. It's like, oh man, there's no way that guy's better than this guy. And it's like, yeah, bro, but they're both in the 90s, which means that the difference that we're saying of them is this big. I don't even know. Do I need to it's absolutely minuscule, man. So I think we all just need to relax about the inner workings of the rankings. You make the list, that means you're an absolute killer. Absolute killer. But if we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you the top 4 guys that I mentioned: Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford, Myles Garrett, and Trent McDuffie. So when we're talking about these guys, I'm going to try to give you a bit of a range on my prediction here. We have not seen them, obviously. It is the 26th of June, so we know we have not seen these names pop up. But give me Trent McDuffie. I feel like he falls into the 60s. That's where he's going to slip in. But I do think, I don't know why in my brain 71 is just the number that's sticking to my head for Trent McDuffie. Myles Garrett is going to be way the hell up there. Might actually push number 1. I do think that he will be number 1. But Myles Garrett's going to be a top 5 in this voting for sure. Matthew Stafford, if you ask media members and fans, I think that he falls into the 30s or 40s. But if you ask other NFL players, I also think he's a top 5 player. He was the league MVP. I don't know if you've heard of this award, but it means that you were the best. And sure, that's a vote from writers and dorks who wear suits and stuff like that. I get that. But let's also not forget that he's playing against these guys who all have extremely high praise for Matthew Stafford. I do think he's a top 5. As far as Puka Nacua goes, there is other really good players that are going to be in this range as well. I can't just say that all these sick Rams are going to be top 5 players. You know what I mean? That wouldn't necessarily be fair. Even though I do think it's realistic, I don't think that it's fair to say that some of these other names that we're obviously going to be looking at in this range, when you look at like JSN and stuff like that, I think that those guys are going to be, again, we're talking about minuscule differences here, but I think the Puka Nacua hits top 10. So I think that we have 3 in the top 10. I'm not going to lie. I do think that that's a very legitimate possibility, and I do think that that's something that we see this year. But as far as the other names, Dotson, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, I absolutely think that these guys could slip in here. But we're also talking about top 100 with 32 NFL teams. That means on average you get like 3.12 players per team in the voting. So if you can pull off having 6, 7, 8, 9 guys into the top 100 list, that you're screaming to the world that your roster is absolutely loaded up, which is obviously awesome. So NFL top 100, that list, like I said, is coming out slowly. We'll know it as the summer goes on. And of course, as we hit Rams on that list, we'll definitely be chatting about them right here. One other story I wanted to touch on here before we break into our Fan Quesos, which is going to be, is Myles Garrett a huge bummer? Not only is Ty Simpson a newcomer who apparently is not doing well, Myles Garrett, not good, turns out. Sounds like something the Browns would like you to believe, because he's not there anymore. I know that much. I know that the Browns are in a PR storm right now trying to deliver the fact that, hey, yeah, we lost Myles Garrett. That sucks. He's a very good player. But we got this other dude. He's very good too. Because, not going to lie, Jared Verse is a monster. Absolutely is a monster. But Mary Kay Cabot, I don't know how to pronounce that necessarily, reported that while Garrett's teammates respected him, he was not universally loved. Sounds like a bitter ex after a breakup, in my opinion. An ex who didn't want to break up, but then it happened. You know, they're sitting here like, wasn't even that good, honestly. I don't even know what I was being silly. What was I thinking? Wasn't even that good. It was fine, I guess, but like, it's not what everybody cracked it up to be. Like when you guys weren't around, like you didn't see everything. You didn't know it all. Like you thought it was great all the time, but you just don't know. Yeah, because that's what you do after a breakup. You know what I mean? She also explained that Garrett would keep his inner circle away from the facility. You know how it's super cool to bring all your homies to work? Like, this story feels absurd to me. I'll be honest. It's another one of those where it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What's the intention of this report? Saying now, after he's gone, saying like, yeah, they actually didn't even like him that much. He didn't even bring his friends to the facility. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? Cut the slander on my boy Myles Garrett, who is a Ram, by the way, if you guys don't know. Myles Garrett's a Ram. It's a pretty big deal. Tell all your friends. Tell them all, dude. I tell my coworkers 20 times a day. Ask my coworkers, hey, name something that Joe likes to talk about. Myles Garrett will be the answer. But now we're getting a bitter ex kind of situation here with this. He wasn't universally loved, that he didn't bring his friends around to the facility, kept his circle small. His inner circle never got to see the facility and stuff like that. It's like, bro, it was the Cleveland Browns. I don't bring my homies to work. Do you? Get out of here with all that, man. We got some ridiculous fan quesos. We'll dive into it right here after this quick break. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back in, Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags, at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. Follow along, man. And also Fan Quesos, which we're about to dive in here now. If you would like to drop your own Fan Quesos, more than welcome. Please do, in fact. You can do that on the Ram Showcase Facebook page. I always post the question there, presenting it. I also do it on my own personal Facebook page, as well as the Ram Showcase YouTube channel. You can check out the post there that's asking for Fan Quesos. So fire them off, dude. Let's do it. First one here coming from the Facebook page from Tyler. What is the chance Donald comes back? I'm at 60%. That's pretty up there, man. I'll be honest. I would say that I'm probably about the same. It does feel real. I'll be honest. It's feeling more real every day that Donald's going to return. And I know it's also been a little bit quiet recently involving this news, but I also think that's kind of the point. I think it's kind of the point. And also, I think I'm one of the people that kind of understands too the moving pieces in this and how many things need to go right for this to really work out and be a good thing for the squad and for Aaron. Because when we're looking at a player like Aaron Donald, I mean, obviously we want to make sure that he's good to go too. That if he does come back, that we're putting him in a situation where he is being utilized properly. He's not putting anything like as far as, I mean, you're in danger if you're on a football field, but no like actual issues that could cause any, major injuries or anything like that. And I know it's not something you could just be like, oh yeah, just don't get hurt, dude. You got that? Yeah. Cheer up, depressed guy. That's it, So I do think that there's like something to be said about just like making sure it's everybody's in the right headspace for, what's going to happen. But I would say, man, I do think that, that because, and I know too, I always get pushback on this because people say it's like, well, he says he hates training camp. It's like, yeah, but he's also been gone. I would imagine that he would want to get back in with the team. If he's going to return this year, I think he does it right. And I think that he's back for training camp. I've been operating under, if he's not back for training camp, he probably doesn't come back. That's what I've been operating under. But I also would say that if week one comes and he's not on this squad, I feel very confident he's not returning. I'd be happy to be wrong. But that's kind of how I feel about it. So I put myself near 60% as well. Tyler, but it is a hard question because it's just one of those where, dude, I mean, we're not relying on it, I guess, too, which is good. It's not like dude, if we can get Aaron Donald, we're Super Bowl contenders. If not, then who knows? That's not the case. So I do think it's a good thing that we're in this spot right now where it's like, hey man, you want to come back and try to win some more hardware, you're absolutely welcome to do it. But with or without you, man, we're going to go get a ring. How about that? You want to join us? Hell yeah. Hop on in. Let's see here. I'll go with on the YouTube channel now. I'll see if there's one I want to end on. Yeah, we'll end on Peyo's question. That's a fun one. Let's see here. From Peyo Time, speaking of, at Peyo Time Rams YT. Definitely some great stuff out of Peyo Time, especially in season. Definitely going to want to check that out for show. But Peyo Time says, I feel like the excitement for the season is at an all-time high for Rams fans. Can you recall other seasons from your life that Rams fans were this stoked? McVay era and pre-McVay era. I know in general you're stoked for Rams football, but is there any comparable season, any comparison between this season and hype and another? Maybe 2021 with the Stafford trade and 2022? 2022 was definitely one where the excitement was there, and then it just fell apart. Obviously, winning only a couple of games there that season after the Super Bowl. Injuries just absolutely smoked us. I got to go to some games that year, or at least the one in Green Bay. Was I two? No, I think that was the year I just went to Green Bay. Saw Baker Mayfield throw his 100th career touchdown pass and Tyler Higbee become the Rams' all-time leading touchdown scorer in Rams history. So that was pretty sick. It was like a high of 12 our entire vacation out there. One of the best times of my friggin' life, dude. That was... I would love to go back, man. I would love to go back in time and just relive that whole weekend. I know that the Rams lost, but it was just such a great time, man. The whole thing front to back was absolutely phenomenal, except for our 8-hour layover in Minnesota, which we could have just drove to Green Bay in quicker time than we were waiting for that plane, but it was already paid for, so whatever. But either way, so is there a season that matched this excitement? So McVay era, I would say 2018, because McVay game one, McVay beating up the Colts at the Coliseum was like, okay, hold on. It's like, this is pretty cool, actually. But one game, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we also beat up on the Colts regularly, so let's not get too excited here. You know what I mean? It's like our previous game with them was that Tavon game in St. Louis, I think. Does that make sense? Because they were both home games. Now I'm confusing myself. So, 2018 was definitely one because it was like going to the playoffs in 2017 after not being in the playoffs since 2005 was one of those where it's like, oh no, we're actually a good team now. Like, this is pretty exciting stuff, man. And so 2018 going into that year, which ended up being a Super Bowl year, was just so good, man. And then just being so good right away too. I think we got to 8-0, if I'm not mistaken, or was it 9-0 before we lost to the Saints? I think they gave us our first loss, which was, I think, a 10-point game. It was played in New Orleans, and Michael Thomas had that touchdown where it was like, God, it's over. It was like one of those. But that was our first loss of the season, I want to say. And but like going to the Rams Broncos game 2018. Where we got to 6-0 after that game. Todd Gurley had over 200 that day. I want to say his best single game put out for yardage. There's snow and stuff like that. Great day again. But that season was definitely up there as far as like entering it and being like, no, we're going to be pretty good this year, actually. Like, it's the first time we were able to say that in a long time. So I would put that one in there for McVay era Rams. Pre-McVay era, I mean, there was a long time there where I didn't understand the fan, like, other fan perspectives of the Rams. I was just kind of in a bubble out here by myself watching, I would just be like watching whatever game was on and I would look for the ticker to pop up and be like, hey, we scored. And my dad'd be like, cool. Doesn't care at all. Like, and then we were like trying to just catch a game break. It's like, oh man, we got a touchdown. Steven Jackson scored. Hopefully they show it, and then we like get a game break. Be like, nice. Or then I got the internet which, yes, this was about that time where it was like not everybody just had the internet. But then like watching the game cast on the computer, and just watching it that way. I'd put on music and I'll just sit there and watch the game cast very impatiently. It would always just make me so mad when the play was like being challenged or something, because they don't tell you what's happening. All of a sudden you're just like, what is going refreshing? It's like, it's been 5 freaking minutes till something's happened. What's going on here? You know? Like, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, challenge, play overturn. And you're like, what? Like, it was a ridiculous way to watch football, but I did do it for many years actually. But I would say that all of those years, man, every single year I was just so naive going into like 2009, where I was like, we're gonna be pretty good this year. You know, and it's just one of those. But I also just saw the positive, man. I always saw a way that the Rams could win. I always just like, it'd be like, you know what, man, if Steven Jackson goes off, we luck out, somebody gets a Eugene Sims tips a pass and we get an interception or something like that from Corey Ivy or somebody, like Kevin Dockery, do it, whatever it happened to be. But like I was just saw a way that the Rams could pull something off and just be a magical season. So I personally was fired up, especially in that time when I was in like high school. I was a class of 2009. Like that time was like, I saw it every single week. I was like, we can do this. So that's a hard one. But other than that, I'd probably go back to like 2004, 2005. If I'm trying to be realistic about like fan excitement going into a season, and then it just kind of dwindled off after that. So you get that. And then, that 21 season with Stafford showing up, that was one of those where it's like, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. We knew it was happening too, with like the fact that Jared Goff was straight up benched in a playoff game, just didn't even start. And then John Wolford, the Wolf, got hurt. And then Goff comes in and wins the game. And it's like, oh, look who was good enough to play and win, Sean. And then we go into Green Bay and lose. But you kind of felt it. It was over, man. We were not going to keep Jared Goff. So having Matthew Stafford be the one, though, that we switched it out for was absolutely phenomenal. That hype was definitely way up there, especially as the season went on, because it was, trading for like Von Miller and stuff like that, and bringing in OBJ, and then playoffs start, and you get Eric Weddles like that. Like there was moments there where you're like, oh, we're going for it. And if we don't win the Super Bowl, it's a fail, which is very much how the feeling is going into this year. So I would put that one in there. Next one here from Payo Time. What's more likely? Rams tight end room combined catches more touchdowns than hold on. Rams tight end room combined catches more touchdowns. That's worded so awkwardly. I'm so sorry, Payo. The more touchdowns in the tight end room than Kyron Williams rushing touchdowns. Or Puka has more receiving yards than the rest of the Rams wide receivers combined. Oof, I don't see that happening. I think we've got some good wide receivers, and I think that Tay Adams is going to be a little bit more of a not just a red zone threat this year, based on just some comments from Stafford on like the Greenlight podcast and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say that the Rams tight end room combining for more receiving touchdowns than Kyron has rushing touchdowns, I think is totally reasonable. Because I would say that, with all of our tight ends, all 8,000 of our tight ends, and also the fact that Blake Corum is figuring to get some split reps there, I would say that's definitely more likely. Rams Active, shout out, welcome in, says, who do you think will be the most underrated piece on this upcoming 2026 team? That's a hard one, man. I feel like me and Tuna talk about this a lot, of different guys that we think are going to stand out. We did a whole episode pretty much on guys that we just don't think are getting talked about enough that could have a really big impacts. But I'm going to say underrated piece, I kind of want to go Byron Young here, because obviously the Donald potential news, the Myles Garrett already news, and then Trent McDuffie, J. Watt. I think there's a lot of conversation going on on the Rams defense right now, and not a lot of people are talking about Byron Young, who looked so much better last year than he has the rest of his career, which is not bad. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like, who is this bum? Get him out of here. But this year you could tell he was a different player. So it would stand to reason that this year he wants to become even better. And especially, you got to be thinking, if you're Byron Young, you're sitting here like, damn, I just lost Jared, which was a huge benefit for me. But now I got Myles Garrett over here. I cannot be no bum trying to rush the passer after Myles Garrett or on the opposite side of Myles Garrett. They're just going to run to my side every time if I can't handle my business, dude. So I think it's one of those motivators where it's like Byron Young's probably sitting there. It's like, all right, yeah, they went and got Myles Garrett, but I'm a baller too. And so I do think that he is one of those players where a lot of attention is going to start going over to Myles Garrett. I think Byron Young eats this year, dude, big time. And then as one of the guys I just mentioned, as far as new additions, I think that a lot of people are talking about McDuffie, reasonably so. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. But J. Watt, I think, is just a great fit for us, man. I think he is a phenomenal fit in this defense, and I'm really, really excited to see what these two corners do this year, man. But J. Watt's going to be one of them. And then as far as wide receivers go, on the other side of the ball, I've been critical, and I do feel like this comment coming from me may not be what you may be expected, but I am going to say Jordan Whittington. I'm really hopeful that this is the year that he takes that next step and that big leap. While we talk about Puka and Tay catching footballs, I think that we've got this guy who, I mean, he's in a spot where it's like, this is it though. Like, this is the year where it's like, if you don't take that jump this year, we have to literally think like maybe it's not going to happen. So this is the year for that to happen. I think he's in a great spot to do it. Rams House, whose house? Make sure you follow as well. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, Rams House, but really cool stuff going on for Rams House right now. Make sure you follow. What do you think the score is in the NFC Championship game if the Rams had Myles Garrett, Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie? Do we win? By how many points? Yes, and a billion. Yeah, I mean, it was the secondary and the defense that burned that game. I don't remember the final offhand. Probably just trying to dump some stuff out of my brain. But I would say that I really do think it's worth at least 10 points. Switching these guys out for what we had, at least 10. I would say, I would argue more, but I'll give it 10. So take 10 points away from what they had, and that's what I'll go with. Because I don't remember the score right now. It's weird I don't remember the score right now, actually, but we're going to go with it. Muad'Dib, what's up, dude? Says, which player or players do you wish could have won a ring with the Rams? Bro, the list is long as hell, okay? Give me some running backs here. Give me Eric Dickerson. Give me Steven Jackson. Give me Todd Gurley. I think that those guys are all very deserving of winning Super Bowl rings. Other than that, give me James Laurinaitis. Give me Puka Nacua. He has not gotten one yet. I'd like to see him get one. I feel okay with that list. I'll be honest. I know that there's a lot of older names that I could get into as well. Obviously, some fearsome foursomes and stuff like that I could obviously get into. But as far as like my time watching is how I kind of take most of these questions, by the way. I was born in 1991, so give me some credit here. But in my time watching, those are the biggest names that I would kind of point out. And obviously, I never watched Eric Dickerson play, but those are some names that I would point out as far as like, I really wish that they could have gotten something, man. Like, especially Steven Jackson. I think he's one of those players that, like, for me in my time watching, it's kind of funny to look back on those times and how I felt during those times watching Rams games, where it's like, without Steven Jackson, I don't know how into everything I still get. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Steven Jackson was such a motivator for myself personally in just my own world, where it was like, it doesn't matter what else is around you, man. Do what you can to try to be the best that you can be. And I don't feel like everybody on those Rams teams had that mindset. And Steven Jackson and James Laurinaitis were the two that I felt like were always the ones who were showing up to play every single week. And there was a lot of offensive linemen in that world as well. That I would put into that conversation. You got like your Jacob Bells and stuff like that from that kind of range that were definitely showing up every single week, but not everybody on the offensive line, obviously. But you got some names in there, man. But like Steven Jackson specifically was one of those where it's like, it didn't matter what our record was, didn't matter what the score was week to week, man. It didn't matter what that scoreboard said. He was going to come in there and he was going to try to kick your ass every single time. And I just think that there's something good to take from that as far as like your own personal life. I think it's something good that you can look at Steven Jackson and be like, man, he did not care that was the case. He was still going to be himself. He was still going to be the best Steven Jackson that he could be. So, man, there's something definitely one of my all-time favorite players, if you couldn't tell. But I mean, he's just one of those guys, man. I don't know how many times I can repeat it or reiterate it and try to word it differently, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. Is that, I mean, doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter what situation you're in or what's around you, man. Do whatever you can do to help the situation out. At least don't be a reason it sucks. You know what I mean? So just keep busting your ass, man, and good things will happen. Hopefully, those good things are hopeful, Hall of Fame bid, stuff like that. So, but yeah, really wish that Steven Jackson could have got a ring. Rams house, whose house? Most underappreciated Ram of the 2021 team. Oh man, as far as I think Van Jefferson had a great season, man. He did a lot of really good things that year. And it's kind of funny we talk about like Odell was the one, OBJ was like, oh man, I might have my kid on Super Bowl Sunday, and it was Van Jefferson that did, and his son being born on Super Bowl Sunday, the day that the Rams won the Super Bowl, being named champ, which is absolutely incredible. Love that. One of my favorite things from that post game. There's a few from the post game. Aaron Donald just crying. It's like, yeah, man, you did it. Like, you did the thing, man. I would say post game, Andrew Whitworth. I'm kind of veering off your question here. I understand that. I'll get back. But Andrew Whitworth telling his kids that he was done playing. It was kind of funny because I think that, I don't know if they're young kids, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know if they really understood that moment and what was really happening there of like, hey, we did what we wanted to. We're good. Like I'm home now, man. I'm gonna be with you. There's a lot more. And I absolutely loved that. And then you get Van Jefferson where they're like, the person comes up to him and is like, hey, your wife's in labor. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, that's just one of those cool moments, man. There was a lot of them, obviously, that post game. I remember it pretty vividly watching it. I was celebrating heavily. And I have some hilarious videos on my phone from the celebration, but it's just like, I definitely was paying attention. And I went back and rewatched a lot of it too, just to kind of soak it all in and stuff with, clearer head, and all that. But yeah, that was one of those where I just love that stuff, man. I love that kind of stuff though. I love, like, I don't know what it is about me, dude. This is like totally not football related or anything like that. There is something that just chokes me up about like somebody telling like a birth announcement or something like that, where it's like somebody showing like, it's like, oh, we're gonna have a baby, like, and then like there's like saying it to like spouse or parents or something like that. Like, I don't know, that's something that gets me. I love that. But then like that kind of moment too, of there's like the football stuff of just like, it's like, here we are, man. This is it. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, this is just a beautiful moment. I absolutely love that stuff. My favorite thing about that post game is that Aaron Donald stuffed his hat full of confetti and put it on. Like, I don't know why. That image of him though, just like smiling, holding, like, I don't know. It's just there. I'm getting all sentimental over here, man. What the hell are you doing to me, Rams house? But most underappreciated Ram, somebody I did not just mention, Kendall Blanton. Absolutely. Underappreciated Ram that season. People don't even talk about Kendall Blanton like that, man. But without Kendall Blanton making some of those plays, we're not Super Bowl champs. I mean, and you could say that about a lot of different players, obviously, in a lot of different situations there. But Blanton specifically is somebody I just don't think gets enough credit for that playoff run. He was our only tight end in some games. We had lost all other tight ends. We were down to just Kendall Blanton. He was still making plays. Love that. Rams House says, if Myles Garrett was a candy, what candy would he be? I thought about this for a while, man. I'll be honest with you. I was having a hard time thinking of something, and I still am. And I'm not even that confident in my pick, but I am going Butterfinger. And I can't even describe why. I can't even elaborate because I don't even know how to. But I feel like it makes perfect sense. I stand by it. Tell me what you think, though, because I am kind of curious. I was thinking about it so long that I was like, I need to just pick something. But it also made me want to ask you back. I want to know from your perspective, what do you think? What Myles Garrett, if he was a candy, what would he be? I like that, though. Rams house, whose house? What do you feel like why do you feel like the Myles Garrett move is being so downplayed by Seahawks and Niners fans? Because it wasn't them. Honestly. I mean, I think I do it too. I know I do it too. It's like, I know I don't give enough credit to Brock Purdy in his quarterbacking abilities. I know that. I feel like he's not as good as other people say. I think he's a beneficiary of a really quarterback-friendly offense and a really good roster. So was Kurt Warner. No one faults him for that outside of me. But no one faults Stafford for having an absolutely stacked squad right now. So it's just me being a Rams fan, being like, nah, no, he sucks, actually. And then for the Seahawks, I'm the same way, too. It's like JSN. Dude, he had a phenomenal year. He played so well this year. I'm still going to tell you Puka's better. I do think that that's true. I do think that Puka is the better player. And I don't think that's because I'm a Rams fan. I think if you asked the average NFL fan across the league, I think that most people would say that Puka's better. That's not to take anything away from JSN. Me saying that Puka Nacua is better is not me saying JSN sucks. That's me just hyping Puka Nacua, not downing JSN. And I think that that's an important distinction as well. I'm not trying to bash JSN. I just think that Puka's better. I'm not trying to bash. I am kind of trying to bash Brock Purdy. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying there, but you get it. But I would say that it's because it wasn't them, man. Like, and they think that because we go from Verse to Garrett, and it's like, well, Garrett, he's on the Browns, it does whatever. I think this move is one of those where we're like, oh my God, Myles Garrett is a Ram. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, right now, we're like, Myles Garrett's a Ram. And we're all cocky about it. There's going to be some plays where we're like, oh, that's what that means. Myles Garrett's a Ram. And we're going to lose our minds, dude. And I mean, also, I loved the point that Colin Cowherd made a while back. Some point this offseason, I don't remember exactly when, but he was like, pass rushers don't win you Super Bowls. Look at all the best pass rushers in the NFL. They're not winning Super Bowls. It's like, sure, you can have a squad that has a good pass rusher and will eventually win a Super Bowl, and then he pointed out, it's like Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. I mean, Joey Bosa is not as good as Nick Bosa, not even close. All the best pass rushers in the NFL, not winning Super Bowls, So like an edge rusher isn't going to teeter you over the top. Rams didn't need to be teetered over the top. We were already there. We were already Super Bowl favorites, and we added Myles Garrett after that. And I think there's just something to be said about them being a division rival where you're like, nah, it's not that big of a deal, actually. Because I feel like that's what we would be doing if you went to the Niners. We'd be like, oh, no, you traded Nick Bosa for Myles Garrett. Nah, whatever. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. If he goes to the Seahawks, it's like, damn, that's a pretty good squad up there. But now we'll be all right. We're a good team, too. And I think that's what it is. That's what it comes down to, is them sitting here thinking like, we're a good team too. I don't care how good y'all get. We are all so good. I do think that we're better. If you look on paper, ask your average NFL fan, man, the Rams are absolutely up there as probably the best roster. And when you factor in coaching staff too, I mean, that's crazy. But how are you as a division opponent going to be like, yep, that's the best squad? And they just added an absolute killer. So I do think that's the bulk of it, if that makes any sense. Payo time here with our final question of the night. Again, if you would like to drop your fan quesos, definitely do it. You can post on the Ram Showcase YouTube channel. I also post on the Ram Showcase Facebook page. If there's somebody somewhere else you want that, maybe you don't really use these platforms as much, let me know. We'll get that in front of you so you can get your quesos in. Payo time. Don't respond if you aren't comfortable. I loved that. That's a good start to a question. All right. I saw that notification pop up on my phone and I was like, see what you got, Payo. Absolutely loved it. But here's the question here. It says, some people are super sensitive about this topic. Fair enough. Could you imagine a world where the Rams go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl? If that happens, I think Rams fans would mention that daily for at least 10 years. I can confirm that because I'd be one of them. I'd be like, oh, you guys won the Super Bowl? Cute. I guess. If you think that's good. If you think, I would be, dude. Oh, man, I would be unbearable. I would be absolutely unbearable if the Rams went 17-0 and won the Super Bowl. You might as well block me on socials. You might as well fire me from my job. I'm going to be miserable to work with. I'm not going to get anything done. I know that much. I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be face painted every day. Just a shirt that just says best damn team of all time. You know, but I do see a world where that can happen. I'm not picking that. I'm also kind of, I don't know. Because it absolutely is possible. Don't get me wrong. Everything's possible with this squad right now. We're a damn good football team. If we stay healthy, it's not out of the question. Not out of the question, which is nuts to think about. But yeah, if that were to happen, man, I can't imagine a world where the Rams go 17-0. I don't think it happens. Like I said, there's gonna be at least one game this year where we're like, shouldn't have lost that one. We had them last year. Man. Yeah, you could look at all kinds of games, but my brain immediately goes to the Atlanta Falcons of like, we are for sure better than the Falcons. For sure better than the Falcons. They beat us. Whatever. You know, so I do think that we see some situations like that where we end a game and we're like, we're better than that. I don't know what happened there. Bad game plan, bad day, whatever happened. So I don't think that the Rams are going to go 17-0, but I see a world where that is absolutely a possibility. And it wouldn't stun me. I'm not sitting here like if the Rams go 17-0, win the Super Bowl, 20-0, all that stuff, where we're just like, what? Like, it would be like, hell yeah, we did. Hell yeah, we did. We did exactly what we're supposed to do. Do what we're meant to do. We're the best team going in, best team going out. Let's do this. No one was ever as good as this squad right now. Boom. You know, I would just feel it's not possible. But again, I just feel like based on what we've seen over the last however many years, I would just venture to say that there's probably at least going to be one game where we're like, that didn't go well. That didn't go like we wanted it to. And then you also get situations like last year where it's like we're looking at tying the game up in Philly and instead lose by 2 scores. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that too, that like you could be trying to take a lead and then something bad happens, you know? So I'll say that too. But that is it, man. That's Ram Showcase. Thank you for your fan quesos. SB's voting is going on right now. I got some Rams in there. Matthew Stafford is up for best male athlete. Shout out, dude. Is also up there for best NFL player alongside Myles Garrett, JSN, and Drake May are in that conversation. Best play of the year, one of them up there is that Caleb Williams touchdown pass against the Rams in the playoffs. Hell of a play, straight up. I remember him throwing it, and me and my buddy were like, "Ah!" And then he caught it. I was like, oh, cool. You know, it was one of those where we were like, I can't believe you threw that. And then it was a touchdown. That's what you get. That's how you get on that list, I suppose. So we still won the game. So don't matter, man. Don't matter. And then, Myles Garrett, we'll see if he gets best NFL player. I do think he does. So we'll see, man. That's pretty crazy, though. Pretty crazy, man. Fun stuff there, man. But, so SBs, check that out for show, as it's going to be fun. Voting is going on now. I think that Tuna mentioned, I think he said July 15, roughly, for when that should be wrapping up. So good stuff there. We are, of course, more back in action. We technically did do 2 weeks in a row here, Ram Showcase. I wanted to get this out yesterday. Didn't work out. Wasn't feeling it. I wouldn't have brought I would have had bad energy yesterday, man. I was not having a good day. So that's why we're here tonight. Fired up about it, man. It's Friday night. Going to enjoy the rest of this one. Hopefully you do as well. This will get out as soon as I finish it. So it's probably going to be like a middle of the night thing. It's 10 o'clock Joe time right now. So shout out. Good stuff, man. Make sure you follow everywhere. Both Horns is 2 times a week right now. We are going to start ramping that up, especially once getting into training camp time. So make sure you join us for that. First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel, Ram Showcase Facebook page. Right now, I think we are ballparking Monday, Friday, but it's usually Monday, Thursday, Monday, Friday when we start to toss in Wednesdays when we hit camp stuff. And then I do anticipate that in season we're going to be 5 days a week. It just seems the way that things are going. The show's going well. The interactions are absolutely phenomenal. I think we're just going to ramp that up and just we're ballparking this to be a pretty fun season. So we just want to we're taking full advantage of that, having a good time. The show, Both Horns with Tuna, it's so much fun, man. It's definitely brought some more reinvigoration into my my vibes on covering the Rams and stuff like that. And not to say that they like got real shot or anything like that, but you do a show. I'm in season 11 of Rams Showcase, man. You do a show this long, eventually sometimes it feels a little bit stale, and other things go on in life, stressful things, bad things, and good things too. But just to try to, keep the focus and keep the passion in is obviously huge, and being able to do both horns has definitely really brought that back out of myself. So it's good stuff there, man. Join me there at Ram Showcase at Sheriff Joe Bags. That's where you can follow along on your favorite social media, ramshowcase.com. But that is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.